let's get a reading in, shall we? Are you ready? What you think it's going to be about? It's always a surprise for me. So therefore, it's always a surprise for you. It's not planned. It's never planned. We just let it flow. Let it flow. Let it go. Okay, Spirit, what do you want our honey roses to know today? What is important for them to know today? Let's see what they have to say. I just heard God is covering your crown. Your crown is covered, okay? Something about your crown is covered. Your ideas are covered. Your influx is covered when it comes to the download you receive from Spirit. It's like you're covered. You're covered is what I'm getting. Also, something happened recently where you realized you had to walk away from something or someone. Freely continue to share your ideas. You don't have to feel restricted. You know, there's something about not feeling, it's like Spirit doesn't want you to feel restricted because what you speak is truth. What you speak is truth. And nobody can speak that truth like you. Because it's the downloads that you receive are specific to you. So even if someone tries to say what you say, it won't be the same. It won't be the same. It's almost like it won't have as much impact. Even though at times I'm hearing numbers are not always proof. I feel like that sentence is basically about worldly things as opposed to recognition in the spirit. Because someone can get recognition in the physical realm, but it really doesn't mean as much as it means, or it really doesn't add up to the recognition that you get from Spirit. The recognition that you get from the world is a bit empty, if I could say. Not trying to shoot down all of the work that you've done on earth, but it's more so about, it's not about man's recognition. It's about God's recognition. It's about you listening to the downloads and to your intuition so that you can move in the direction that your soul is meant to go. Okay? All right? All right. So I feel like you're recognizing that now. You're starting to realize like what's important as opposed to what is not important. Because here on earth, we could think that a bunch of nonsense is important and it's not. And the sooner you realize what is really true value, I mean, as soon as you realize that, life gets easier. And instead of feeling like you're always in purgatory, you will find peace. You will experience true peace, okay? True peace is where it's at. There ain't nothing like that. There ain't nothing like peace. There's nothing like peace. I remember when I used to pray for peace because I was disturbed by my environment. And peace was so valuable to me at that time, and I couldn't attain it. But my goal was to obtain peace. And that's what I did. But I really made it priority in my life. And when I chose to make peace my priority, what I chose to seek, I found. So I retain the information that, or the lessons. I retain the lessons or the knowledge from the lessons that I learned. So they still are with me through those times of darkness. I still have the lessons. I didn't let them go. I didn't get to the point where I felt Like I didn't want to accept truth for what it was, even if it was bad. So there's something here about, there's something about avoidance. Don't avoid like things that are difficult, like tough conversations. Try not to avoid those things, because that makes you grow. It's uncomfortable, yeah, but you'll realize that it's not that bad after you get through it. And I feel like for you, you actually experienced this before with this Eight of Cups here, because it's the Hierophant or Hierophant, however you want to pronounce it, the High Priestess, the Sun, and the Eight of Cups. So it's like you recognize that what is most important is the recognition that you receive from the spirit realm, from God. Once that truth was illuminated to you, you kept that, and that is what has become your foundation. So you no longer have like a weak foundation. Your foundation is very strong, durable. There's a lot of durability, okay? So you were strong enough to walk away from situations that may have been difficult for you to walk away from, because you were invested. Many times when you're invested in something, it makes you want to try to make it work, because so much time and maybe money, energy was put into it. So it did feel uncomfortable when you realized that it was best for you to walk away from certain individuals. It did cause some emotional turmoil. However, you know it's for the best, because it's like, I'm getting this energy from you. It's like, I know God has been with me. God has walked with me through my entire life, even when I knew God was not there. Even when you may not have had such a close relationship with God at that time. But now, because you're so intuitive, it's like your intuition or your intuitive nature has strengthened your relationship with the Creator. So you are strengthened now. Your strength, your peace, and your ability to be a loving individual in a cruel world is abundance. It's a challenge for many people to smile when all that around them is chaotic and they feel like they're being attacked every month or every week or what have you. But it's a choice also. It's always a choice when it comes to how you choose to receive certain instances in your life. No matter if it is circumstances that you don't feel are favorable or just aren't favorable, as well as mishaps, things that go wrong, things that you wanted to go right, but you realize that they didn't go right, and you had to find a way to cope with what you had at that time. And I feel like this is a message of recognition. That's what it feels like to me. Recognition from your spirit team and from God. It's like, I see you. I saw you walk away when it was hard for you to walk away. Like, I saw you do that. And I commend you for it, because I know it was difficult. Because there were so many times where you still wanted to give. You still wanted to give. That didn't go away. And you actually beat yourself up about it, because there was a point in time when you was like questioning your validity. Like, am I valid? Like, am I even valid for doing this? Am I wrong? And you are someone who, you are so accountable for your life that you are quicker to take on someone else's accountability placement when it's not even your own, to make sense of the situation and to try to make something that went wrong right. How noble of you. How noble of you. Yes, I said noble. You want to know the definition of noble? I said mobile. Noble. Belonging to a hereditary class with high social and political status. Aristocratic. So, you are of high class. You are royalty. To who I'm speaking to, if this message resonates, because it's not going to resonate with everyone. However, this is of a royal lineage. This way of being, this is a pure bloodline. It's a pure bloodline, okay? Preparation. So everything that you went through actually has been preparing you to be the star that you are, the star that you have become. With the star, well, you were a star before. You just had to get polished, you know? Wax on, wax off. That's what had to happen. And now that it happened, my, aren't you shining? Quite shining. They're going to have to put some shades on to look at you. Because you're going to start blinding them. You're blinding. Your light is blinding. You're such a loving person. You meditate on love, I just heard. You meditate on love and everything above. I think that's the title. It's like, I just heard, you didn't forget about me. Can you imagine how, like, God feels? Do you think about that sometimes? Sometimes I think about God's feelings. Maybe that sounds crazy. I don't know. But sometimes I think about God's feelings. And sometimes I feel like I could feel God's feelings. I do. Sometimes I feel like that because I just feel so sensitive. And, just like that day or that reading when I was telling you about how God said, I am energy, and God sees us as like the infrared sees individuals, sees energy. So God can see if someone is moving from purity or from the ego. And so if you are one of God's chosen, He could do more for you when you're acting from a place of purity and love. But if you're acting from your ego, it's very difficult for God to be able to send energy to be of assistance to you, because you look like you are not His child. The behavior that one has emits a certain frequency, and that frequency God does not recognize as His own. Okay? It's like, you know now that God sees you even if no one else does. Okay? But what I was saying is, sometimes I feel about God's feelings when, because it's been so long, you know, when you really think about the fact that all of this hate and animosity and ridicule and pessimism and toxicity, all of this has been going on for so long. And it's like, imagine you made something that was meant to be beautiful and it turned out to be like catastrophic. And then it's like the chaos must continue until those within what you have created learn. Because it's like, if they're gonna have to figure it out, you know. I'm giving you, it's almost like I'm hearing spirit, I'm hearing God say, like, I'm giving you all the tools, like I've given them to you, but who takes the time to sit down and sort them out? And I feel like that's a broad scale, that's more macro. But when I think about it from a micro perspective, which is your own life and your own surroundings and people within your circles, many of you have gotten to that point where you figured out your own life, you know. You're not so stuck into the confusion of wanting to be more worldly as opposed wanting to be more spiritual. And I feel like many people teeter in that space. I definitely did not expect this reading to go there. You know, that's why I love connecting with spirit, because they always bring me to a place where I didn't expect to go. You know, because like I told you in the beginning, I don't know what's going to come out when I speak to you all, when I record. I don't know. So when it comes out, it's just refreshing because it's always something like different. And I think that tickles my brain. I like new things, different. It's like it keeps life vibrant, colorful, and creative, and that's just how I feel. Just like traveling, when you travel and you go to different places and you see different cultures, it sparks something within the spirit, and it also helps you just it creates an air of understanding that you gain from just understanding and respecting other people for who they are and how they live. You know, there's something special there because it gives you compassion. I'm going to look up the word compassion. Sympathetic, pity, and concern for sufferings and misfortunes of others. It's just like to be human, to actually care. Because when you think about it in simple terms, to use an example, robots don't care. They don't have any care because they're just being used to the advantage of those who choose profit over people. And I just feel like this is a big portion of your life that you figured out, and now it's about really activating the next phase in your life so you could grow. Like now it's time to grow within your true nature, because the false nature is the one that is applied to you at birth. That's false. Even down to the certificate. Even with the social, it's all about tracking and tracing. It's a paper trail. Our ancestors, or at least indigenous ones, they did not have birth certificates and social security cards. That's to track. That's trackers. Anyway, let me get back before I go off on a tangent into another space and a whole nother topic. That incense smells so good. I wish you could just smell it. Let me see. This one is sandalwood. Do you know what sandalwood smells like? Here. Is it working yet? Okay, so just get some sandalwood incense so you could experience the experience, okay? Somebody's mowing lawns. It's time to cut them down, cut them down. I heard shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. It's time to cut them down, cut them down. I feel like that's what you did. You cut a lot of ties with people that were full of lies. Yes, they were lying because you're a liar. You looked at some people in your life, you're like, no, you're a liar. You're a liar. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. You just started to recognize the truth of the matter, that you were being used by individuals that aren't willing to do what you are willing to do for them. They are not willing to do for you. If they could, would they? Isn't that the ultimate question? If they could have done what you do for them, would they have done it? Or not? But deep down inside, you really know what it is once you see a person's pattern. That's why you must always pay attention to the pattern in a person, because it will tell you all you need to know. Okay? So, yeah, I feel like this is a message of recognition. You have done what was one of the most important tasks in your life, and that's to just find yourself and acknowledge the fact that God exists, and God's approval is what is most important in this world, because it's pure. It is of purity, it is of righteousness, it is of love. Love heals the earth. How do you heal the earth? I just heard with a question mark. It's love. Love does not only separate, it also creates, and it grows. It cultivates. It cultivates new environments for innovation and success in mental recalibration. I feel like that's what love does. Love is an enhancement, okay? Deep knowing is where it started. So that's the last message, deep knowing. So yes, you have a deep knowing. Many of you who this message resonates with, you have a deep knowing because it was part of your journey to have that deep knowing. And you finally passed this test. It feels like this was a test that you have come back here for lifetimes to try to figure out, and you finally found the way, and then it says it's time to go. Isn't that something? You have finally, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say. Every time I try to say finally, I want to say found. But you have finally found the way, and yes, it is time to go your merry way. There's no more fork in the road. There's no more confusion. It's just really decision as to what's best for you now. What's best for you now, honey rose, darling? What's best for you now, darling? What is best for you now? Please excuse the mower. They just chopping stuff down for you. That's like the remains of what doesn't need to be in your life. They're energetically chopping it down. Chop, chop. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.